Financial ratio analysis. In financial ratio analysis, I will start with the liquid of this firm. How liquid is the firm? Based on the graph, the current ratio reported by Nestle Malaysia Berhad averaged around 0.6, while the acid test ratio reported by Nestle Malaysia Berhad averaged around 0.3, and it decreased from the year 2017. From the year 2017, account receivable turnover drastically increased from 9.06 to 15.21, while inventory turnover decreased slightly from 7.13 to 5.7. In 2021, Nestle converted its receivable to cash as quickly as possible, but was slower at turning inventory. So we can conclude that Nestle Malaysia Berhad is more liquid in 2018 while less liquid in 2021. Next, we will see operating profitability of this firm. Are the firm's managers generating adequate operating profits on the company's assets? Based on the total asset turnover and fixed asset turnover, Nestle is not efficient in using its assets. From the graph 2, it shows an increase in operating profit margin from 16.12% to 16.57%. But in 2019, it started to decline and the last recorded operating profit margin was 13.71%. It means that Nestle management in managing the cost of sales and operating expenses was not good and should take action to improve that if they want a good operating profit margin. In 2021, Nestle reported the lowest operating return on its asset by not being efficient in managing its operation, getting a lowest operating margin, and not making better of use of its asset as indicated by the lowest total asset turnover and fixed asset turnover.
For financial decision, company will see their debt ratio that show the debt ratio has increased year by year. Nestle has a higher amount of debt to finance its asset in 2021 compared to the previous year, which means Nestle has a higher financial risk as the amount of debt to finance its asset is quite high for the company. Nestle net interest in 2017 was 23.55 and decreased to 21.32 in 2020. This shows that Nestle's safety margin has sunk in subsequent years. It is lower than the previous year due to its relatively low operating profit in 2020. This is considered that company has lower margin of safety and high risk in terms of financing its asset. Last but not least, the return on equity from 2017 to 2019 remained at 1.01 and is decreased slowly in 2020 and 2021. The average return on equity is 1.00. It is influenced by the operating return on asset, which has been constant for the previous 3 years and slowly declined over the next 2 years. This indicates that Nestle Malaysia Berhad is not good at generating shareholder value because the company are unable to reinvest its capital in unproductive assets.
Next, I want to present about success and risk that may affect to the company. For success factor is Nestle Malaysia Berhad aim to provide rewarding careers to their employees by promoting a safe and healthy work environment. Next, Nestle Malaysia Berhad supply chain management maintain strong relationships and build lasting connection. Besides that, creating value is also one of the success factors regarding to the company's performance, which is Nestle Malaysia Berhad deliver a brand promise of product and service. In addition, Nestle Malaysia Berhad remain a dependable and responsible corporate citizen in the community which it operates. Finally, for the success factor, Nestle Malaysia Berhad is capitalizing media, which is Nestle Malaysia Berhad organize face-to-face engagement, dialogues, and forums. For the next present is internal risk for the Nestle Malaysia Berhad will affect for the current and future performance. This company will expose to health and safety risk because quality and food safety assurance is a critical principle for the organization. Besides that, market is also one of the internal risks. It is leading to slow take-up rates and disruptive technology and increased competition for market share if company oversupply their stock. Next, technology risk. The company is potentially exposed to information technology infrastructure disruption. However, geopolitical risk is also a threat to the company because uncertainty arising from sociopolitical conflicts such as prolonged trade wars and policy change may impact to the group business. In addition, fraud and corruption is also a threat to the company because of lack of compliance awareness. And lastly is project management risk, which is potentially become derailed by research as delays in regulatory approvals, non-performance contractor, failure to deliver product or service on time, and escalation of unexpected costs.
I will present projections and recommendations of this company. Projection. Every company's financial health is based on the identification of how might be improved the financial ratios. Financial ratios are used to make comparison between different aspects of company's performance or how the company stack up within a particular industry or region. Through a financial performance analysis, specific financial formula and ratios are calculated when comparing the historical and industry insight into a company's condition and performance. For liquidity, Nestle has a current ratio of 0.66 ringgit Malaysia in 2017 and it increased in 2018. For 2022 and 21, the current ratio decreased but maintained 0.59. This shows us 2022 will increase based on the inventory in 2021. For profitability, we can indicate that Nestle in 2021 is better at managing its cost of goods sold and also its operating expenses than in the other years. In 2021, it will also generate Ringgit Malaysia 262.2 in sales per ringgit of assets. From operating profit, we can forecast that sales will be better for the next year 2022. Lastly, for the leverage, the amount of debt increased from the year 2018 until 2021. This shows that Nestle has a higher financial risk as the amount of debt to finance its asset is quite high for them. From that, we can forecast that in the next year, 2022, Nestle will do not better because Nestle will still have a higher amount of debt based on the amount of debt they have. Next is the recommendation toward organization risk. Health and safety risk. The group should establish increased monitoring of workspace safety compliance through implementation of management system. Market risk. The group need to regularly execute initiatives to reinforce product strategy and launch innovative technology-led market campaigns and financing schemes to enhance customer engagement. For technological risk, the group should deploy extra protection on the technology infrastructure and systems. Next, for geopolitical risk, the group closely monitors local, regional, and global regulations and identifies appropriate strategy for prompt response in mitigation of such risks. Lastly, for project management risk, the group ensures adequate screening and selection process for qualified consultants and contractors, as well as continued monitoring of work for timely delivery for high quality product and service within budget.